last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call.
Hey everybody, Kevin Hoyt with the Grassroots Warrior Network, and my favorite hand. We had a hand up there for that.
Yeah.
JT in the house. Hey, did you see? I just did a show with a woman having to do with water and land and everything from Minnesota. Did you see
I haven't
that?
watched it yet.
Oh,
I haven't watched it
she
yet.
knew who Jason Tupper was.
Shut up.
I swear to God, she knew. She's a fan because
No
Jason's
way.
here. For anybody that doesn't know, Jason represents the state of Minnesota because you don't have any representatives there either. Unbelievable.
Nope.
So we got connected, Martine Rothblatt, Martin, and transgender, transhumanism, adrenochrome, like crazy stuff. Did you happen to catch that satanic thing in the mall?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah. And all I
or
thought
what?
was, all I thought was like, holy cow. I'm like, that's like Baphomet set, whatever you want to call it, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, boom, just like right there.
Right in your face. And it was funny because when
Yeah.
I first saw that store, I walked by and there was a couple of deer skulls down on the floor in the display. And I'm like, ooh, what's this? And I look in, there's a caribou on the back wall. And I'm like, oh man, this is me.
Sure.
Nature. I didn't read Nerdy by Nature. I'm like, oh, great, new store, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I walked right into that rainbow flag and the BLM flag and the pentagram and the Baphomet. And I was like, what's going on here? So I went back outside and started recording. I'm going to play that, Jason. And
yeah,
then
man.
You sent me some emails, and I've got a couple pictures too. I want to talk about this because it's right here in our face.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's so hard to believe that it'd be right there in our face.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you too, what do you think about, I mean, I believe in the freedom of speech. Do these people have the right to even do this, believe this? Put it in
Well, you know, the thing is, I mean, they do, right? But the thing is, you know, like you said, if you're pushing it down the kids' throats in the library and you know stuff like that. And I have, you know what, I didn't send. Well, I sent you those in a different a text message, but I've got some. Well, I've got a couple from the high school that are like, you know, the black fists, you know, for the Black Power.
Right.
And then
when
a lot of
when
LGBT.
it gets into the education system, it's crazy. But it's in our food system, it's in our malls, it's all around us. A lot of us don't even know it. We're going to review some of that today. But I believe in the freedom of speech, and I believe in freedom of choice. Like anybody can believe in whatever they want to believe in.
Right.
As long as they're not harming other people. And they're not harming anybody by selling Baphomet. Right. So it's like the guy who wants to stand on the corner with a swastika and say hi Hitler, and he's got a sign and whatever.
Yep.
As much as I disagree with that guy, I believe in his right to do that and his right to believe in that. And if anything, it tags him. I know who I'm not hanging out with.
Right.
Yeah. I got that guy's number. Okay, that's cool because he's openly admitting it. And I think in this case in the store, though, they didn't know what they were even perpetuating. Maybe they did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, and you know what? The talk you had with Mark and Marcus, that's what I was thinking of as a good rebuttal for should they be able to sell that stuff. Yeah, they should be able to sell it, right? But he went.
I had two options too. Well, I had I could have went in and I could have just pulled Maddie, was his name. Everybody's going to see him in a minute. I could have pulled Maddie over to the side and just had a personal one-on-one conversation without the camera. I kind of put him on the spot, right? I set Maddie up. I thought about this before I did it because I think if that happened, then Maddie wouldn't have believed me. Maddie wouldn't have understood and nothing would have happened and nothing would have changed. So I used Maddie. I was an ass. I even say that in my video at the end.
Right. And you came back and
set him up. Well, and I don't have a problem with, you know, again, I'm going to be called a homophobe and all these other things because Maddie was gay. The store is, you know, BLGTQ associated. And I don't have a problem with them. They can do whatever they want. But I have a problem with ignorance and they're selling stuff that they don't know.
Right.
So I wanted to inform Maddie. I don't think he's into child sacrifice or pedophilia. Obviously,
well,
from his reaction, right?
Yeah, but if you think about, if you think about your talk with Mark and Marcus and some other, I mean, just other stuff that's going on with like the spell casting, you talk about it, the spell casting. Well, if you've got those things in there and you've got, impressionable kids that don't know what the meaning is, they just think it's cool. They're not aware of the possible, attachment kind of stuff, right?
Well, that's why I said when a 10-year-old kid carves a swastika into the tree, chances are he has no idea what he's even carving, right? That's the truth of it. It's not done with intent. It's done with ignorance. And that's the only two choices. Either either Maddie knew about it and he's selling the Baphomet because he believes in that and he's perpetuating Satanism, literally, as crazy as that sounds, or he's acting in ignorance. And again, if you act in ignorance, what happens is the original intent, the intent of the Baphomet, child sacrifice and evil, then that takes precedence, right?
And I didn't get a chance to send you this, but it makes me think of our favorite Representative Andy Smith right now is pushing for our state's pushing everything that every other shithole is pushing to propagate
division,
not the Nazi world order, but division, so he's pushing for for some bills, some bills up in the seas that are, and like you were just saying, like, it's out of ignorance. This is a seminary graduate that is pushing something that is like complete polar opposite of what he was taught.
I think that's the devolution. That's the evolution of our own government. They're cracking their optics. They're putting themselves on display, I think. And like, again, back to Maddie, I don't know. I don't have a problem with the gay community. You can be gay, that's fine. But are you pro pedophilia? You should know about that. And I think this makes your community look bad, and your community's part of my community. It's our community all together. So I gotta let you know about it at least.
And like like Andy the guy that got beat up, I think during Black Lives Matter protests, but he's like a gay Asian guy, right? And they beat the shit out of him. It's like, hey, you guys, hello, I know. And so he talks about this and like the gays against groomers or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Those guys are like, and you see other people in the LGBT community that go up to their city councils or whatever and say, hey, like, I remember this one guy, I don't know, I think he's from California, but he's like, my nephew, is in your school system, and I, as a gay man, like, totally disagree with the MAP stuff and pushing all this other, like, get it out of there.
Well, and it's funny, this interaction that I had with Maddie ended with him calling security. So, of course, I called security after myself and said I didn't appreciate the store. But one of the rules in Crossgates Mall, this is Albany, New York. I'm going to show you the video in a minute when we get done talking. But they, one of the rules is inappropriate clothing. Like, they can throw you out if you're, if you're showing cleavage or your tank. I don't know if your skin.
Gang colors. Gang colors sometimes.
Is that it? Gang colors, whatever.
Well, sometimes there's stuff like that.
An American flag, a gun on your shirt. I can probably think
the Mall of America in Minnesota did that. You couldn't wear the Jesus t-shirts in there. Did you hear about that?
Religious statement. But the Baphomet's okay. That's what I'm saying.
That's the double standard that we're talking about, right?
If the people have to apply to these rules, then why don't the vendors, right? And again, nothing against Maddie. I don't think Maddie knew what he was talking about. Let me go into this video so people know. Hang on to your seats, everybody. We're going on a screen share. That pop up, JT?
Yep.
Okay, this is an awesome site for anybody who hasn't found it yet, the Grassroots Warrior Network. And it's got a plethora of all sorts of, great content from some of your favorite providers. But this one right here with the awesome cover, I love this cover. I think we can skip right to like 3 minutes. Well, here we go. All right, we're in Nerdy by Nature, and I got Maddie here. Maddie, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And we're going to, again, big pentagram flag there. But we were going over the flag because I was a little confused. And again, the rainbow is for the gay pride community. And then we're going over the black, the brown, the blue, the pink. That's for the trans community. Is that right, Maddie?
Brown is inclusive for queer people of color.
All right, I want to stop right there. I should add text when I did the original video. Queer people of color for the blue people and the pink people. Like, I don't know. Has he seen me if I've been to the beach?
You pretty pink white. Oh, can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right, test 1, 2. Help me out.
Okay, I got you.
All right, there's something going on. We can't even log on to Zoom. I got cut short the other day. My emails and everything doesn't work. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and I had that thing trying to get in.
So the blue stripe and the pink stripe are for people of color, is what Maddie just tried to tell me. And you were the one that even told me about this flag. I didn't know anything about it. And I didn't know until, I don't believe you either, Jason. Sorry. But you give me good ideas. And then I researched and I was like, he was right. JT was right. Like, it's a virgin, the V for virgin white. Like, holy shit. I found out.
I didn't think about hanging the right way. You know, when it's hanging down, I didn't think about that. You know, then it makes the
well, and just the color. What does the color represent? I mean, I get the black and the brown now. Okay, that's, you know, gay people of color. That makes sense. The pink and the blue for color just seems to me. I don't know what's going on with my audio. Let me go back into screen share and we'll finish and see what happens. But I thought that was weird. That was his, you know, definition or his understanding.
Well, and then there's that the yellow part is with that circle. That's a new thing.
It is the purple. Well, that's why I went in. That's what was the question I was after, and everything was really smooth. Maddie was a friendly guy, invited me into his business. We were having a pretty good conversation. He knew what the Baphomet was. I said, "How much is the Baphomet?" And he didn't even blink. 250. You can have yourself a Baphomet.
Yeah.
And I asked if we can get a bigger one, and the conversation continued. This is later, but let's go back into Maddie, and we'll see if I can get this to play. There we go.
A lot of times there is a lot of seclusion from them, from the community. So those stripes are specifically to help those kind of individuals feel included. The pink, the blue, and the white are for individuals who are transgender, or that kind of mentality. And
the purple is what we were. I was curious because I've never seen the purple circle.
The yellow triangle with the purple circle is inclusive and helps people who identify as intersex or born intersex. Intersex.
And what it's funny because the word hermaphrodite, I haven't heard that in a long time, but we're not supposed to use that word anymore.
It's not the word that is preferred anymore.
Right. The scientific. So that's an everybody flag.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what concerns me, Maddie? I don't know. You know you're supposed to be hanging the flag this way, so it's up and down.
Yeah.
And the white specifically is for virgin, V for virgin.
No.
Like, I know there's the GLBTQ, but they're adding the P.
That's not true at all.
Well, no, that's what, again, I've been told. You don't think that's true?
That's not true at all.
That's
as a member of the community, that's not true at all.
Maps, right?
Yep, that's not what that flag is.
That's not what that flag is. Again, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's not what that flag is. He instantly knows, just like he knew about the Baphomet. He's a member of this community. But again, Maddie, you're a part of my community.
Right.
And I'm literally trying to inform him. And so far the conversation is going pretty good.
You're the one using it.
Well, I think of it as the Mount Anthony Preservation Society. It's a shell company my judge has in Edmonton, Vermont. But it was a minor attracted person.
You know more about than I do.
Well, it's the P. See how we tried to deflect? The GLBTQ, but they're adding the P. There's P all over your flag, Maddie. Well, no, I'm interested in this stuff.
No, you're not. You're clearly already trying to get accusatory.
Well, this is what I'm hearing. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, but you're not listening to me. Because I just told you that's not true.
That's not true. So we go to Snopes, right? Our favorite fact checkers, which actually proved that it's true. And I think that's probably enough of that video. But I wanted to show people again. I mean, we know what the Baphomet is. You guys can research that. It's connected again to Moloch. all the way to the Hillary Clinton emails. She talks about sacrificing the chicken.
Yeah, she does.
To Moloch.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these are, it's right here in your face. But the problem is it's so close that we can't see it sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wanted maps, again, minor attracted people. They did, in fact, have a flag created for, they call them no maps, right? Which is a non-offending minor attracted person now.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's, and
can't be tied to criminal.
I just saw a video of somebody like in Parliament or something, some kind of they're up at a podium or something, talking about maps, talking about exactly that, about, being accepting of people. And we talked about this like a year and a half ago, probably at city council. We're nuts. Okay. And that's fine. But we put it out there, and now I swear to God that our new symbol for our like, it goes on all of our park trucks and all of our utility vehicles is the triangle.
Oh, dude, I'm going to show you Vermont Department of Motor Vehicles in a minute. We can look at Oreos or
I've seen the Oreos.
Clinic. Do you guys like your Monster energy drinks? I saw an older woman doing a whole kick on Monster.
So did I, and I thought, you're nuts,
a decade and a half ago, and I'm like, man, it's kind of ironic, like all these coincidences, like, wow. And I kind of blew her off. I think that woman was spot on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think she knows what she was talking about, and we were it's so inconceivable that we don't want to believe it. That's why you guys got to look for yourself. But we're going to help you look, because JT was nice enough to.
And if they don't, have you ever watched Trey Smith of God in a Nutshell? He always goes through all these different Hebrew letters. So I mean, if you don't believe that, you can go watch him. And
I got a Lauren Machuga in my back pocket. So
that's good. Yeah.
If she doesn't feed it to me anyway, like, she's crazy. She's going nuts about pi, like 3.1 pi, the equation.
Yeah. Well, does she say something like, well, would God make a not a round number, or like an even, like a 3?
I got to talk to her. I don't know what she is. This is what I love about Lauren Machuga, is her mind doesn't think like mine. It doesn't think like a normal people. It's about numbers and patterns and Greek and Hebrew. Crazy.
Right. And if you think about patterns they have, like in the Torah, and and she probably knows all about that. The first 5 books of the Old Testament. They have sequences and like the Bible code and stuff like that. But also with Tesla and the 369, and everything is divisible and everything is, like the Fibonacci sequence and stuff like that.
They forgot the 12, by the way.
The 12?
369, 12. 12 is the free energy. I'm going to leave it right at that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
12 is key. That's why they're trying to get rid of our American standard system and switch over to the metric system. Remember the whole thing? We're going to go to 10s. And it seems easier because they want you to forget about 12. 12
it's like the months, like
it is. So even in the conspiracy theory, we hear about 369. They specifically left the 12 off as part of that.
Yeah.
It's what they, not only what they twist, but what they don't tell you. And it took me a long time to do that. In fact, I would have never found it if it wasn't for the guys, like I said, that are making engines that run on water and air. That's
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It was the 12. We missed the
12. the most important
I
part.
can't get into it. I signed a couple NDAs and stuff, and I'm just telling you, the 12 is like really important.
Yeah, I hear, what you're saying, where that could be
they were going to ban numbers. I saw a court case one time. I wanted to ban, and I'm like, what the hell? It's like 13. 13 is my lucky number. Like, I don't know why. In fact, I've adopted it. I've always liked 11, the number 11, the number 3 my whole life on my BMX and motocrossers, and I was always number 11 growing up. Never knew, didn't know any of the stuff, like a God number and any of that crap. I didn't know that. I just did it back then. That's where I'm saying stuff happens before it happens or before you're aware.
Yeah, I was born. My birthday is April 12th.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So again, I want to go back to your screenshots. And we were talking about all this crazy stuff all around us, Holly weird. right down through to your politicians and all this. Again, it's really crazy stuff. But let's get into your shares and talk about them, and then I got a couple to share with you too. So we're talking about what? Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan. He even went to Bohemian Grove.
Everybody went there. In
Yeah.
fact, and I obviously I don't want to offend anybody, so this is what Nixon said is the gayest thing he's ever seen in his life, or he's ever been to in his life.
Right. And of course, the owl. The owl is key in this. We talked about the owls. Again, there's lots of owl stuff in the Not Nerdy by Nature shop, and there's owls throughout all of everything from Washington, the shape of Washington, D.C., when they rebuilt it after the fire. It's a giant owl. You guys can look at that. Like, don't believe me, go look. But Bohemian Grove is something crazy.
It's on the money too, Kevin.
I know. That's what I mean. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What this Ryan Garcia? Is he going to Bohemian Grove? Is that what we're talking about?
Have you talked to Nino about it? I don't know if he's gone to it. I haven't really paid much attention to the story, but all I know is that he's like Nino, man. He's telling people stuff, and Nino's like, just stay low, do your fight, and then come out later and address this stuff later.
Yeah.
Because Nino's like, this is it, man. Once they don't have your back after this, bro. So I think Nino had some really, really good advice for him. But like I said, I'm not really following it too much. But I know he's mentioned Bohemian Grove. I know he's mentioned like how his money's like. And he's talking about Jake Paul too. We talked about that.
I know Mike Gill's not real happy with Nino or Juan O'Savin or General Flynn, or he's kind of ripping them apart. And it's funny being in the middle.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, I love everybody.
Special actually Tuesday. Me and Michelle Moore and Mike Gill are going to talk about that publicly. So that should be an interesting podcast when we get there, because we're on the same page, but again, none of us are right. We're all right. So maybe when
exactly,
we can figure out the truth. That's what we want. All of 100%. Us, and I can say that for most people. I think Mike Gill, and Michelle, and me, we're after
everybody.
What the truth is. I trust those guys really good. So again, I know what this is back into the Adrina Abramovich, but again, the horns, the sacrifice, the blood.
This is in Minneapolis. My aunt's friend actually worked at that bar or works at it, but that's a leather bar down in the Twin Cities.
Right.
And then the Podesta art, and they say
the Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
Jeffrey Dahmer again. Who you think about Jeffrey Dahmer? Think about Charles Manson. All these people now with what
right?
Like, holy shit, right? Was he one of the biggest Satanists, like gurus? They celebrate this guy. They captured his art, the Podestas.
Well, have you ever seen the show on Netflix called "Don't Fuck with Cats"?
No.
Oh, it's great. But at the end of it, the guy turns out to be a serial killer, and the guy he killed, he's got him in that position on his bed.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. Well,
these cat people went crazy, man. They went after this
Jeffrey
guy.
Dahmer story. That's pretty bad too. But Tony Podesta, of course, that's the brother of John Podesta, the Hillary Clinton, and get into all the different crazy Pizzagate and Adrina Abramovich, and there's some. In fact, you got some pictures here. But did you know that Tony and John Podesta, they had to do something with the Ramseys too? Remember John Benet Ramsey?
That's what I heard. I also hear that possibly Madeleine McCann as well.
Wow. And I know
Angeline.
The sketches that were provided by eyewitnesses. It's Tony and Anthony Podesta along with evidence to go to it.
Yeah. Right. Same with the one downtown or down in with Madeleine McCann.
And I'm not suicidal, and I'm a pretty good driver. Just I out there every once in a while. Is this at a school?
Okay, this is at our senior high school, Century High School.
Oh my god.
And then I've probably got 8 pictures of them, of stuff, different things like this there.
Right. And this is all symbology that I bet the teachers have no idea. That's amazing to me that they don't know, and they can't.
They just want to keep their jobs.
Yeah, maybe, but keep calm.
Some of them.
What's the GSA? Do you know what GSA? Don't be afraid to show your true colors.
Yeah, I don't know. Gay student. What is it? GS what?
GSA, Gay
Probably
Student
like Gay Student
Association.
Alliance or something.
Yeah, or association, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is like when I was in high school, I didn't have to tell people I was straight,
Right.
and I didn't, enforce it. I didn't. In fact, we get in trouble if
Right.
we talked about it, or I kissed my girlfriend in the corridor. I got yelled at.
Yeah. 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 Well,
It's-
and I'll tell you, there's a couple of kids that I went to school with, and they were gay, and I mean, one guy's dad told me one day at a bar, he's like, "Yeah, turns out my son's gay," and I'm like, "Well, I could have told you that when I was 9."
Right. I remember my
But-
cousin John came out of the closet. He had a big family meeting, and it was a Christmas or something. He told everybody, and we're all like, "Yeah,
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
are you just finding out?" We all knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you just find it out
not a
yourself.
problem.
Yeah.
We still love you, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I just noticed on this?
What's that?
What is this?
You got a circle there.
That's a purple circle on yellow, just like we
Yeah.
saw on that pride flag.
Yeah, I see that now.
Having to do with, I don't know, is that a country flag? Help us out. Anybody watching? Just kind of stood out. We made a connection there that I wasn't ready for. Let's keep
Yeah.
on going. Kindergartner, first grade with our whole lives. Now, what's going on here? This is the owl.
Who's that? That's Mayo Kim Norton right there.
Yep, and that's Mayo Norton.
Yeah,
Mayo,
with member of the Universalist Church, the Unitarian Church.
Biology, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, and disability status. The activities and language used throughout this program, right, have been carefully chosen. I bet they have as inclusive as possible for human diversity. And I bet they're including no maps. As long as you're not offending, that's okay, right?
Yeah, and I just saw another
I believe in free speech. They have the free speech to believe in what they want and sell what they want. But that means I have the free speech to say that's a bunch of shit and I don't like it in my community and ask questions, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, 100%.
I hope other people do too. So again, Mayo Norton, we got her cold case busted. Jason, you did a great job in the last couple of years. We've been exposing her. And again, this is the
owl.
Right?
Yeah, that's the media for it or whatever. Yeah.
Right. If you go to, here it is right here. Sexuality programs, the owl for the Unitarian University. Right. So again, we got what we think is adrenochrome and organ harvesting going on in Vermont. That's Martine Rothblatt, again, connected with the Patrick Leahy International Airport and Sununu and Governor Phil Scott here in Vermont and everybody and their brother. And not only is she a transhumanist, but she runs United Therapeutics, a blood company, largest pig cloner in the world, wants to supply the world with an endless supply of transplantable organs. The WHO, the Mayo Clinic, the United Nations, this guy, Martin, is all over the map, right?
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, and he's part of the Unitarian University, which is all about sexuality. This is great to hear. And again, there's our owl once again.
And the swirl and the star, I mean the moon.
This is the swirl, right, for the pedophile symbol. I got some pictures of that I was going to show. There's Podesta.
There's John Podesta.
Right, with a whole bunch of symbology. We got the cut your finger, crooked adrenal. You ever seen that?
What's that?
There's a cut your hand with a knife, Adrena Abramovich.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Blood. I think he did it.
He probably did. And now, do you know what that 14 and that fish are there?
I'm guessing is the fish Christian? What's the 14? I don't know. Go ahead.
No, so that's the 14th of 17 UN points for, bringing in the Nazi world order. It's 14 is underwater civilization, Terra Mar, right? And that's who Ghislaine Maxwell and a bunch of people were members of Terra Mar.
Right. They're trying to make a whole, I remember. We talk about extraterrestrials and shit under our oceans too.
Yeah.
Oh, this is,
and there's no laws in the water, right? There's no laws out in international water.
This is a whole new rabbit hole for me. What's it called? Underwater. Is it called?
And those symbols were on I believe when you're talking about Albany, but maybe it was somewhere else up in New York where there was a shooting, like after the Christchurch shooting.
Yeah.
Christchurch shooting, they had these symbols on the gun. And
well,
then
and
also in the,
you know, the Christian fish. You've seen the Christian fish?
yeah. Oh, I heard you talking about that.
Kind of looks like an all-seeing eye. And I never thought about it, but if you invert it like Lauren Machuga,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's the
I heard you
all-seeing
talking
eye.
about that.
And with the fish, it's just the Christians, they added the clitoris. It's the divine feminine is what we're looking at, right? Depending on which way. There's some deep stuff here. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Jason
Who
don't
knows?
know. Yeah,
All right.
we're
I don't know.
trying to figure this out. And of course, the serpents. Serpents are all over the Baphomet. This is the flat Earth map that you'll find in the United Nations and the World Economic Forum. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that correct? You sent me the email.
Yep. I believe that's the. I've
seen it before.
The UN thing.
Come to think of it, the Mayo Clinic's got a few serpents.
Dude, if you look at Joel Osteen's big world thing he's got behind him, at his church, it looks just like that. Was
money.
Whoa.
And this is actually, I mean, it's real close here in this one, but the 8, when the snake makes a figure 8, or sometimes a circle, that's what had me interested in the purple circle, where a snake is eating itself. You guys ever seen that? Seen it all over Egyptian hieroglyphs right through. I think what they were trying to tell us there is it's double infinity to start with, but I think that's the key to being eternal, and it's also the key to free energy. That represents, it's called the Taurus.
Yeah.
Right? That's Nikolai.
So toroidal energy.
Yeah, it's exactly what you're talking about. The ether. The ether
that goes like, and it goes like this, like an apple.
That's right. And it never stops feeding itself. And again, dealing with the free energy, you know, the specialists, the scientists and patent holders and developers, and I am learning all about this stuff. Yeah. This I think is actually a lot more important than just the evil money sign.
Right.
You know, a way to do this is I look at money now as almost like I'm going to say a being or an entity, and it doesn't have to be evil, by the way. We put our time and energy into the things we believe in, right? And our money is a form of energy. I mean, if you think about it like that, right? And a lot of our money right now is going to energies that we don't want to be associated with. I'm not paying taxes. As a governor, I got to file my tax returns. I filed a 0 return in 2022 as bait, thinking that one of my opponents or the media, somebody grab onto it and we could talk about income taxes. But they knew better, I guess. They still ran. Spirit cooking, Adrena bitch, right? What's her name?
Abramovich. Adrena bitch.
Adrena bitch is right. Well, and again, this is a cake. These are big celebrity things. You can go and you can cut into people, and there's the Cannibal Club. You know.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
We talk about child sacrifice or human sacrifice and child sex trafficking and cannibalism, and they sound so far-fetched.
Right.
They've
been doing it for thousands of years.
Let's pretend 10 years ago, even if I just said to you, do you think there's someone somewhere in the world that's eating other people?
Yeah. You're nuts.
Well, no, I don't know. I think I would have said yes. And I'm thinking again, Papua New Guinea or, jungles of South
Africa,
somewhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking Washington, D.C. or the skyscrapers in New York, L.A. Right. But that's what we're finding out. Teach your daughter how to shoot. I love it because a restraining order is just a piece of paper, and that's the truth. We're here. We got the Baphomet symbol and pharmaceutical symbol. What's this going up here though? Total. These are the eclipses.
Well, you know what? I didn't put those on there. So, but I have both. I have those. Maybe I accidentally sent them to you. But that's what's her name's. That's what's her name's. That's the eclipse. Going through Nineveh. That Sheila Holm talks about.
And that's an X. I wonder if that points to anything specific. X marks the spot. It's interesting. God wanted us to look, man. He put them in your things.
Signs and wonders, right? So, but this is where the eclipse is going. It's going to go up through these 7 Ninevehs, just like, I think it's on the left there on that left. It goes through 7 Ninevehs. And that's like the story of Jonah.
What's a Nineveh?
Huh?
What's a Nineveh?
Nineveh is a city.
Oh.
And that's the city that Noah was supposed to, or not Noah, I'm sorry, Jonah was supposed to go and warn, but he jumped off the ship instead because he didn't want to do it. It's like us going out and warning people, He was supposed to go warn the city about stuff. And he's like, nah, no way, So he jumps off the ship and then he gets swallowed by the whale.
Yeah.
And he gets spit out and then he has to go. So he finally goes to Nineveh. Well, this is going through 7 Ninevehs.
Oh my God, Jason. This is so interesting to me. Like you said,
but this is all
another week's worth of work.
Yeah, that's all Sheila Holm. That's all Sheila Holm. She did all that.
Wow. And if anybody's following Sheila or Sheila's watching or anybody knows anything about this, leave us comments. We're looking for interaction and participation in these videos. What are the 7 cities? That would be very interesting to know, wouldn't it? Do you know what they are, JT?
Nineveh.
Nineveh? Yeah, but that's one of the cities.
No, it's going through 7 Ninevehs.
7, right. Well, what are the 7 Ninevehs?
That's the name of the city is Nineveh.
Yeah, but are you following me? I want to know what the cities are in this path that we're talking about. Is there 7 major cities in that path?
Yeah, 7 Nineveh cities named Nineveh.
Right.
They're all the same name, Nineveh.
Well, how come? I mean, I'd never heard of Nineveh before. That's why I said, how do we identify what cities are Nineveh?
I guess you'd have to go.
You just look at that map.
I mean, yeah, you look at the map, but Sheila breaks it all down, I think she broke it down on Mike Jacob, I think.
Wow. Yeah, see, I missed that one. And the same thing. I am very interested in this point right here.
Yeah.
Something.
And then it also makes, then there's going to be another one in 2050, maybe. I can't remember what year it was, but then it's going to make another Hebrew letter, the A, or whatever it is, but it'll be another one that comes down and makes looking like an A, almost like the Space Force symbol. And that's a Hebrew. You can ask Lauren, but that's another Hebrew letter that's going to be showing up when they do that.
Q goes way back. Q is in the Bible. Q is the original source for God. They've changed so much. Like, did you know?
Yeah.
When you hear Antichrist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anti, if you go back and trace the language, just means before.
Before, right? Or anta, yeah.
Before Christ.
Yeah.
So what are we afraid of with a before? What was there before Christ? There's a good answer. Come on, everybody. All you Christians out there. I believe in Jesus Christ too. What happened before Jesus Christ?
Right.
What happened?
Right. Well, I mean, and you talk about, and I worked with a guy one time and he said the earth was 6,000 years old because he was a Bible believing Christian, And of course I didn't know anything. And I'm like, you're crazy. So in some realms, yeah, if you're going by that, it's 6,000 years old.
I've seen that. There's some convincing evidences in that. Yeah. As far as the flood, Noah, that other Noah, the flood, and all the way through. And there's again, I don't know. And could everybody be right? Could we all be right based on what we're manifestation in our minds? And again, is any of this real? Are we in a giant holodeck that's so advanced that our words and our thoughts? That's why it was important to control our language and our religion and our calendar and everything about us, so that we couldn't wake up. I don't know. When Elon Musk talks this way, he doesn't sound crazy. When I do, it sound insane, right? Yeah. But this is something that I'm looking at and considering. The more I go, actually, the more I believe that. Yeah. And if that's the case, if we're eternal, I bleed, I feel pain, I do everything that this avatar, this divine temple that I have for this round. Right. But none of that's really matters. It doesn't really, right? The only thing that matters is, I think, doing the right thing, trying to find your way back to source. Right. I don't know, man. This is, again, where do we come from? Why are we here? Where are we going? Right. Hey, what'd you do?
Okay. So remember the time that all of our screen shares disappeared? And all the people were looking at a black screen.
Yeah.
It's when my boss called me. Well, my daughter and my son have been sending me text message. I see them popping up, but it didn't do anything.
Dude. The Zoom ended. My whole meeting ended. I had to log back in and start over.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, because they sent like 5 things and it didn't do anything until after that.
No, that
So-
shouldn't do that. And that wouldn't end my Zoom meeting. I've had it
Yeah.
where people's audio will cut off if you get a phone
Yeah.
call or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
gone the whole meeting.
What?
Maybe
That's
it's
funny.
the content. They're watching you. You put me on a list, Jay. I knew I shouldn't have hung
I
out.
think
with
it was you.
Bad influence. I
What
don't
came
know.
first, the chicken or the egg?
That's pretty crazy stuff. All right,
I love
so
it.
let me go back into screen share. We're talking about the Baphomet. We're talking about crazy stuff that's all around us every day. And I think
Yeah.
maybe they don't want us to talk about that stuff, is why that's happening. I'm going to go back into JT's screen shares because I got some screen shares too. So here we
Yeah.
go. Here's the pharmaceutical logo.
Yep.
All over the Mayo Clinic right there in Rochester, the city people go to die. There it is. Right on that same statue that we
Yeah.
saw, 2 wings. This is our political system. 101 basic politics for beginners. Here's the Democrats. Here's the Republicans. It's
Yep.
2 wings of the same Baphomet. Here we
Right.
are over in Great Britain. Geez, this looks familiar. And we're
Yeah.
switching, by the way, because this is where it gets confusing because this isn't actually the Baphomet with the horns.
Right.
This
Right.
is where it's a half breed. We got
Right.
the what happens above, happens below symbolism with the 2 arms.
Yep.
Just like in that painting we found in Castleton College,
Yep.
in Sanders School, right? That's again all symbolism. And
Yeah, and that's the same thing. So you got the phallus there, right?
Right.
On the Baphomet.
Right.
And so when you look at your Bennington Monument, does the Bennington Monument have a reflecting pool in it?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look.
Check it out.
I've
Because
been there a
that's what
million
the
times,
mall
too.
that's what the mall is in Washington D.C. is a reflecting pool. So you got your 2 towers. You got your
I
as above,
never
so
even
below.
thought about that. You know what's right there is the college. And we just closed the college down. That's where our police officers get their illegal degrees. They just buy
Is that
them.
right?
Southern Vermont College, which isn't there anymore. Or maybe, I don't know. That's that's hearsay. Maybe that's why
Yeah.
the college isn't running anymore. We'll have to see. And again, here in the in Great Britain, we got the guard. And again, this goat, that is important. And when they go to the goat, they're talking about Moloch, which
Yeah.
now specifically is, again, it's blasphemy in every religion. When you're talking about
Right.
Moloch, you're talking about child sacrifice.
Right.
Specifically.
Yeah. Baal
they're-
worship, Canaanites. Yeah.
It is. And when you go to your doctor, your hospital, next visit, you're going to see this symbol. You're going to see
Yeah.
it just like you saw it again, United Nations World Economic Forum. Oh, what's this?
Yeah.
A float?
Yep. That's
Games
that's
in
at
England.
the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
And is that what that one is? Yeah.
It is.
And then
It's like the
is
Super
it-
Bowl being a giant
Yeah.
satanic ritual.
yeah. And so like 2012, if you ever saw the one for 2012,
Uh-huh.
it was COVID.
Wow. Oh, wow. It was
Yeah.
the COVID spike in 2012.
Yeah.
This is they're
They
telling you
had
what's
this
coming.
big black Grim Reaper looking thing, and then it had all these nurses and all these little kids in hospital beds,
Underneath that. Oh yeah, wonderful. That's what he said, isn't it? And it's Baal is the name
Right.
of this. The Baphomet is named Baal or Moloch. And
They're all
Baal is
interchangeable.
spelled Baal. So now we think
Yep.
about our chemtrails,
Yep.
barium and aluminum. If you go to
Yep.
the periodic table, that's
Yep.
Baal. If you look at what's one of the first words you learn as a baby,
Ball.
ball.
You got football. You got baseball. That's all
Basketball.
it's all your bread and circus is ball. And then we talked
Wow.
about the baseball diamond being the Freemason symbol.
Absolutely. We
So-
can get dressed up and go to a ball. We can have a
Yep.
really devilish good time having a ball. Right?
Yep.
Again, that's the word grammar
Word,
fraud,
yeah.
language, spell casting. But this is the
Yep.
intent, Jason. This is what I'm talking about. Like morning.
Right.
You say good
Yep.
morning to people, and that's you're celebrating death all day, right?
Yep.
Well,
Or your
not
mortgage.
anymore. Well, this is how we take it back, though. Like when I used to
Yep.
say good morning, Jason, I didn't know.
Yep.
So I was
Yep.
acting in ignorance, just like Maddie. So I
Right.
would say something, and
Yep.
without knowing the intent, the bad intent that they put on it was carried forward. But now I'm aware.
Yeah.
So now I'm aware of their evil plan. I can say good morning, JT, and feel good about it because now I own the intent. I took that shit back. I'm claiming the word. Just like we're using air for free energy and firearms and all these different things. We're claiming that shit back. They can't have Disney either. You know, I don't know, start over, pave it. I mean, that's a great experience for a lot
Turn
of
it
kids.
back and
We just got to get the sin out of it. Get the sin out of our lives and we'll be okay.
Well, I went there about 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to see what the marriage disillusion rate was from from families that went to Disney, because it was the worst experience of my life.
Really? Well, I know, again, it's funny you say that. I never spanked my child ever. I'm just not a hands-on parent and whatever. I actually spanked my daughter in Disney World.
Is that right?
It's
you're gonna
true,
get it. You're gonna get it Disney World.
Well, overstimulated and they're crazy, and you know, you park in the parking lot, you walk a freaking half mile before you even get to the thing, and parked in Goofy 13, can't find your car after you $88 million to spend your day walking and standing in line, and the kids are overstimulated and crazy.
Yeah.
Here we are back at the Commonwealth Games again, 2022. This is just like CERN or the Super Bowl. We see all the symbology. This is again the devil horns, right?
Yeah. And you've seen the CERN. Did we talk at one time about the CERN opening of the Goddard Tunnel?
Yeah.
And that ceremony.
It was all completely dark, all the ceremonies.
Yeah.
Again, back to the medical, back to, again, here it is, just like on the Baphomet. There it is, right?
Yeah.
All over our medical community. And they are the real virus, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. And look at those people. Like, I hate to be the judge of character by looking at people. Look at those people, though. Like, oh, my God, right?
Yeah.
Henry Kissinger, the guy that said, a threat doesn't have to be real as long as the perception is real. Welcome to COVID, right? With Bill Gates, who said they were going to deplete the world's population by 1/3. Yes, he said that. I don't care what Snopes says. I'll show you the video clip with him saying it.
There's Minnesota's own George Soros.
Right. Who funds all of our media and all the bricks for your BLM riots and looting. And back to Marina Abramovich.
Yeah, and that's a big picture, but it's got Rothschild next to her.
Yeah, well, again, she's in with all of them. That's what I said. The Rothschild, Soros, Rockefeller, Gates, the WEF, the Royals, etc. Vermont Governor Phil Scott stands against Texas. Literally, he was the 26th governor, 25 out of 26 stand with Texas. He's the guy that didn't. He stood against Texas. He stood with Alaska. Him and the governor of Alaska are actually after immigration reform. They are openly against Texas and standing with Joe Biden. In Ukraine, they're standing with Ukraine. Here we go. Everybody knows the colors now. They prepped us for a decade with those. There's right off the front of Moloch. It's got this, again, the pentagram built right into it. Here is your Ukraine crest. There it is. And here again, Khazarian Mafia. Talk about them all the time. This isn't the Jews, right? There's a lot of great Jewish people out there. Their religion's been hijacked. Just like
that's the whole thing. There's your word. There's your words there, Kevin, is Jewish.
That's right. It's the Jewish, right? They're not Jews. They're Jewish, right? And again, that's a religion. Right. That's what it is. Plain and simple. And it's been hijacked, just like the Roman Catholics. I'm sorry if you guys love the Pope. Pope's not a good guy. We're going to get to him in my slides. But this is again, right in our face that we've been talked the whole time. Beautiful. This is, you ever seen the ones with her and the bones and the blood and all that?
Yeah. Holding that deer head or whatever, the goat head.
Yeah. Well, goat head, that's important. That's back to Moloch, man. They're telling you.
Yeah.
More symbols, medical. There she is with a kid covering his eyes even. Yeah. Right. The symbology here is all over. The Golden Girls. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the guys. They're redoing it in drag.
The golden guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And remember, they asked Betty White, and she told us, and they said, Betty, how do you stay so youthful? And she says, I eat right, I exercise, and I drink the blood of a virgin every Tuesday. And we all went, ha, ha, ha. She was telling you the truth, guys.
I know it, and I was telling people.
This is scary.
So, this is at our state capitol. This is kids. This is either Penny or Peggy Flanagan. I don't remember her first name. It's Penny or Peggy. But she's she's a Native American. I'm sure her family's proud of that shirt.
Beautiful woman. Yeah. And it's funny too, is protect trans kids. Well, you shouldn't have added the P. That was the stripe. That's the yellow stripe, right?
Yeah.
The yellow stripe is for, again, minor attracted people. The pink stripe is for if you're attracted to little girls, and the blue stripe, light blue, is if you're attracted to little boys. The white stripe is for virgins, but that's also to go with their vow of they're not going to offend. They can just be attracted to them, but they're not going to offend. And then again, the yellow is the attraction to trans children. That's per their flag. That's per their statements and what they set it up for. This isn't me making it up. In that video, Kevin versus Satanism, we cover all that. We actually use Snopes. Snopes, the fact checkers, agrees with me. Right? Which is crazy. That's even crazy to think too. But because they added the P, maybe she realizes they're after the trans kids too.
Yeah. They're just after the kids regardless. However they can do it.
They'll make your kids trans. Look at Will Smith's son.
Yeah. All those celebrity kids.
Charisse Theron, look what they're doing to their children. This is the latest. West London, the Mayo Clinic. That's Martin.
That's Martin.
I reckon. Oh, and this is what are they?
Bina 46.
Bina 40. I forgot their name. This is the clone robot that Martin made of his wife. Yeah. Right? Would that terrify you?
Any other spouse get murdered?
If I was a wife and my husband cloned me, I'd be pissed off. They're like, what the hell?
Look like that? Yeah.
Especially if
Honey, do I look fat? Honey, do I look fat? Yeah, you do.
LifeNot is another company that Martin owns. And it's where when you die, you can download all of your memories onto computer chip and then put it in your clone robot self and, again, live forever. This is what they're talking about. Martin discovered eternity like she could. That's God's department. Keep your positive.
And that's what Noah Harari, Noah Yuval Harari or whatever his name is, Yuval, the World Economic Forum guy. That's exactly what he says. You don't need you.
This is
Huma
Aberdeen, right? This is the Anthony Weiner laptop, and all that didn't go away either.
Happy Valentine's Day from Alex Soros.
Wow, Alex Soros with man, this is crazy. The connection. This is a good show, Jason. I didn't know any of this. I'm learning so much as we go. Pearl Jam. Don't tell me I liked Pearl Jam. I got a nephew.
Me too.
2 of their videos.
I loved Pearl Jam. I still like them.
The old.
But look, what's that remind you of right there, Kevin? What's that look like to you?
What's it look? Well, it looks like a whole bunch of things. It looks like the Earth, the globe. I don't know. What are you seeing? Tell me.
I think it looks like CERN.
Oh, it does look like CERN.
Yeah,
absolutely. The giant collider.
Yeah. And then if you go down one of the opening bands, they got an upside down cross on their little thing.
Oh yeah, right down here. I see.
Yeah.
Again, that's the satanic. Again, this is symbolism. No, I can see the CERN thing right now. And again, CERN,
that's all I thought.
Who don't know. Well, and you were into that. Again, you opened my eyes to that a lot too. What they're trying to do in that kaleidoscope, we believe, is open portals. At least that's what they tell us that they're trying to do. Right? Yeah. Terrifying. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, you're right. And there it is, CERN. And of course, you got it's big, so I can't show you, but this is a 6, and a 6. If you look at it, you're going to see 666 all over. There it is. A little bit better.
So this one here is on the U.S. Debt Clock website.
Right. The Ingersoll Rockwell. They've been, again, the secret portal's back. People can go look at our new money. There's some things happening on that. It's got links to Space Force. Go right to the usdebtclock.org. I think it is. I'm going by memory.
Yeah. But and then this talks about the Mandela effect after that and the Fibonacci sequence and things like that.
Yeah. And again, different dimensions. And people, the Pentagon, your government, all the science and scientists out there will tell you there's different dimensions. This isn't crazy, Kevin. They're telling you it's out there. Pentagon's telling you there's UFOs, right? I think they're lying again, but oh, I remember this. This is the color guy. I feel sorry for this guy. Do you feel like they hunted him down afterwards? I had that in my.
Well, I think they are hunting him right there.
Yeah.
Is what I think. I think they caught up with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then in the article, it talks about how his mother found him or whatever, and he didn't have any organs.
Yeah. No,
his internal organs were taken out.
which kind of goes back. This is Adrina or Marina Abramovich again. The spirit.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, right? Oh, that's Lady
and the
Gaga.
guy in the guy in the white pants right there.
Yeah,
he's somebody, but I can't remember who it is. But he's somebody that's up in the know.
Help us out in the comments. Who is the somebody? He's not a nobody.
No,
these guys are somebody, or they wouldn't be at this party. And we talk about the same thing with kids. I don't know. He looks like more of an adult. He's a young man. But
he was a young model.
Yeah. And they probably ate him if they didn't do a bunch of cruel things first.
Well, I don't think they did because the mom had the body, but I have seen.
What happened to the organs, though? This is what we're talking about.
Well, that they could have taken and done stuff with. But I've seen a picture of one of these dinners, right? And it makes me think of this guy because they literally have somebody tied up like a turkey.
Yeah.
On a platter.
That's why I said it's inconceivable. And nobody wants to talk about this or look at it. I understand that too. We have to. Yeah. Sorry. We got him. Rough Guide to Hell, talking about Hamas.
That's 2012. I think it's 2012. The Economist, I believe. I was just talking about that with somebody last night.
Pro-Palestine Hamas going into the same.
Yep.
DMC, we were wrong. John Rich, Bohemian Grove, back to the things. More Bohemian Grove. People know about this, I believe, at this point. This is a giant owl, Burning Man type thing. Where they go
I work with a girl. I work with a girl that lived real close to there. And she had heard a couple of things, but she didn't really know. She heard some stuff, but so I filled her in.
Do I still have microphone, by the way?
Yeah.
Can you hear? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I just got another warning that said I didn't. But
yeah, I can hear you.
So we lost audio 1.5 times, and our video was cut. This is crazy. Just coincidence. All right, I got some slides for you. Some of them I think you've probably already seen. But here we go. In your face. Oh, ice cold milk in an Oreo cookie. You guys remember that commercial? Here's Oreo, and you can see some symbology.
Yeah.
Right into the cookie. Here they are. These are all, again, I know this is Kevin, you're crazy, right? I'm just showing you. I'm just showing you pictures. There is that symbol, and these symbols are real, and they mean things, right? Freemason symbols. You got the satanic cross. Again, there's the infinite, double infinity again. That's a snake. You can see a snake eating itself.
That's called a Mobius strip.
Yeah. Well, and again,
my son taught me that, Kevin.
Isn't that amazing? It's like whenever I have computer problems, I find the closest 8-year-old and they go, here you go. I remember when computers first came out, my kids were like, stop clicking. Dad, like, stop clicking, Dad. It was because I was like, dial up, right? I remember. And here, again, we're going to go back to some FBI disclosure. For people who haven't seen this, these symbolism, an inner looping triangle, and then we got the spiral around. And a lot of people use these and have no idea what they're using. Just like Maddie at Nerdy by Nature in Albany, New York, Crossgates Mall. I hope people check that out, right? But here it is, the same exact symbol. There it is. Let's go back. See the symbol? Here it is in a child advocacy center that's run by the Vermont Department of Children and Families. Match an EIN with the judge, blah, 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 cover up sexual misconduct of children, police chiefs, lawyers, everybody, senators, right? Call Cindy Tumar. There's your phone number if anybody's interested. Why did you pick that symbol as a sun? Out of all the symbols in the world, why did you pick that one? It's a good question. I went and asked Cindy in person and got a no trespass order, right? Hey, I'm working on a collection, JT. I got a bunch of them, man. We're piling them up. Here's another one, right? Again, the heart. And you can see these. There's one in rings. They're in our jewelry. I've seen the butterfly a lot, right? There it is. On the good humor.
Good humor.
Look at.
I know those are my favorite. Those strawberry ones. I loved them.
Pooping right heart. Everybody got that symbol in your mind? I used to eat these, JT.
Yeah, me too. Those are my favorite, man.
It's the mirror image, but there is the inner looping. It's the same exact symbol. I don't eat these anymore. I tell people about it instead. Right?
Yep, me too.
This is donate. This is organ donating.
Right.
If you get into a car accident with the Vermont Department of DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, they've got a pedophile symbol. This is the Vermont State Department of Motor Vehicles who wants your organs, and part of that program has a pedophile symbol in it. I don't know. Call DMV. You guys ask them. Call Governor Scott. Here it is in the Vermont Credit Union Bank. In fact, it's funny because we got them to change their logos. They had a whole change about Vermont. The one in Milton, Vermont, they had a 4-foot pedophile symbol on the side of their building that they would light up at night. So we took that FBI disclosure to a few of their buildings and started asking people if they knew. Are you guys aware that your bank has this? Talked to a couple bank managers. Guess what? They changed their logo. I would.
Yeah, too. I think I saw that video, I think, when you went and did that.
Yeah, and now it's a heart. It's not a double looping heart, though. I'm like, man.
Just a regular heart?
It's, wow. I don't know. I don't know, man. Here you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about religions. This is all over Disney stuff too, man. You want to see pedophile symbols, go look at the Disney movies. They are everywhere. But here is that same symbol by the FBI, not by Kevin Hoyt or JT. And here it is. All around your Pope, right? I'm sorry. I hate to be the messenger, like you said. And the same, do you drive a Mitsubishi? Right? Do you like, I don't know, Chase Manhattan, Fox News, Audis, Heineken? Grab a Heine, right?
Hey,
Cartoon Network with the plaid. You got the two Masonic. It's all Freemasons. All logos, Taco Bell, the Monster Energy drink. We talked about that one. What do you want to say, Jason?
Well, you know about the Google symbol, right?
Right.
And what runs it? What runs Chrome?
Adreno. runs Chrome.
Yeah.
That's why I said you can't make it up. Why is there a smiley? If you go to your emojis right now on your phone, everybody, you can go check. There's a pedophile symbol.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen it.
It's like one of your happy faces. Pedophile symbol. So if you can talk with other pedophiles, I guess, or go to the coffee shop in Montpelier. Right on the front building, they got a pedophile symbol. It's where all the Vermont politicians drink their coffee. Or you can go to Pizzagate, or you can go to Voodoo Donuts, meet up with Clintons and Bernie. You'll see these symbols all over the place. Voodoo Donuts has a giant donut with a pedophile symbol in its center, being stabbed in the heart with a pretzel.
Yeah.
That's their logo, right? Go look. You can see it in Disney. So I said,
it's on a chair or something, right?
And you shared, so I wanted to share too. I also brought my daughter her very first rape whistle. There it is. And when you blow that one, the rapists go away. So
that's funny. That kind of looks like my daughter.
I know. It is
my oldest daughter.
And she'll kick their butt. I've seen her. As long as she doesn't try to escape on a 4-wheeler, I think she's going to be okay. Right?
She just drove my new truck today. I went and picked up a different truck.
Oh my God. That's one thing I learned from my childhood. My parents let me drive their vehicles, and I am never letting my kids drive any of my vehicles.
Well, I had a 2005 F-250 that I had a 6.0 in it, and I dropped a 7.3 in it because the 6.0s are no good. And I don't need it. So my mechanic bought it from me today, and I went and bought a $3,000 Chevy pickup. So, and it's ugly, and my daughter loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially, I mean, that's a big deal. I remember when you get a vehicle, man, that's like freedom. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I used to like to drive then too. I was like, you need to go to the store. I'll drive. I'll go on. Right. Now you're like, man, I don't want to. I just barely got back.
Right.
It's like when I was traveling doing my hunting show. I'm like, where are you? Wyoming? Yeah, that's close to Colorado. It's only 600 miles out of my way. I'll swing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. JT, this was a hell of a show, buddy. I hope people enjoyed it. I think it was very informative. If you guys can believe us, and don't just believe us, go do your own research. We showed a little bit. There's lots of links. I suggest Yandex or DuckDuckGo is a whole lot better than Adrenochrome. Right. And just be aware and be awake and love each other and share each other. And I don't know, click the Rumble button, talk about it. JT, any words for our viewers in parting?
Best time to be alive, especially right now. It's just rolling. It's rolling hard right now.
Once you know, it's a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually, and that's part of the thing, like with this truck and stuff. It's like I want to be as much like Lauren Machuga as I can. Well, I'm not connected to anything if I don't have to be, so that I don't have anything to worry about.
I think that's part of it, JT. I think we're all actually letting go. And not only, not listening to President Corn Pop or, Governor Phil Scott, and we're just not listening anymore. Same with the media, same with the news. We're starting to get on with our lives. And the cool part is there's a lot of cool people like me there. We're getting on with our government. We're getting on with infrastructure and the major components to keep us all running as one big happy community where we can thrive instead of paying for them.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's like, you want to stay in the slave system? Be my guest. If you don't want to be, come talk to me.
Well, and I tell you, we're all going to have to make that choice. And I see the lines are being drawn right now. And again, if you're not with the people, you're against the people. If you're still defending these criminal politicians or the officers or the authorities, and there's a lot of good cops. It's not all rednecks, it's not all Jews, it's not all Yankees, it's not all that division. That is a bunch of shit. And I think we're finally letting go of that.
Yeah.
I hope so. It's funny. Cindy Lou Who there, our New Hampshire grandma.
Yeah.
She was she's going down Monday to Washington. Like, it's crazy. She's, PTSD, and she's having a tough time going down. But her lawyer is a Jew, like a major Jew. Like, he wears a yarmulke. They pushed the trial out for his religious holidays. And again, I have no problem with him. He's a great guy and he's helping out. But we're going to try to do a podcast where we talk about that bridge, because the truth is there is anti-Semitism, right?
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous. And a lot of us, some of us, the truthers even, we're perpetuating that. When we say it's all Jews and it's not. It's like saying it's all Catholics, right? Just because the Pope and your priest molested kids don't mean you did.
Right.
Yeah. So it's the same thing in this case. And we got to bridge that divide. That's going to be another good show. Look forward to it. I'm going to keep on talking. I love you, buddy. You're one of my favorites. Honestly, I have fun when we do these. I always learn stuff, and I appreciate your time. And everybody,
I love it too.
I appreciate it. And everybody who's watching, I hope you appreciate it too. If you do, click the Rumble button. And they know who you are in Minnesota. That's so cool.
Oh,
all right, everybody.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said,
because that's where I go when I go up north.
Yeah.
I go through Duluth.
Well, there's a JT in every community.
Yeah.
The Kevin Hoyts of the world are standing up, and there's a billion of us. That's another lie. We are the vast majority. We didn't elect these people. They have no authority or jurisdiction over any of us. They're criminals. We look down on criminals. You don't have to look up to them anymore. And I don't think they can hurt us anymore. Nope. Says the guy with a warrant and cut brake lines. Thanks for joining me, JT. I appreciate you.
All right,
man.
Kevin. All right.
See you guys.